Episode 1, Season 3. Oh my god, we've got it, we've got it. Okay. In this short video, I'm just going to talk about the arc I see being set up for Egwene. There's a lot in here, so many Easter eggs, and also just so much pure Egwene that's coming out in everything. And just hear me out, because I don't know if anybody else is going to agree with me on this, but this is something that really occurred to me about Egwene, is that in episode 1 we don't see Min at all, but when I look at Egwene, I see them incorporating a lot of where Min was in this sort of side of the story at the time, and I think that they're still bringing some of those elements in, okay, because I think that they have changed Min's arc quite a bit. So let's just have a little bit of a look at what the wiki says about Min. She adamantly refuses to wear skirts or dresses, instead favouring boys' coats and breeches, and she starts wearing heeled boots and more distinctly feminine short tailored coats with snug breeches to please Rand, although he didn't ask her to do that. The fashion is eventually adopted by other women. She would often wear snug breeches embroidered with flowers and the pant legs tucked into her boots. Okay, let's just have a little look at how Egwene is dressed in this episode. Now, I'm also going to compare how she's dressed to somebody else very different to Min as well. And here she is in the inn with the boys, and notice that she's got a short coat. What really caught my attention was the short waist part of the coat, and that made me think, hang on, that's like one of the coats Min used to wear in the books. She's got breeches or pants on, and they are tucked into her heeled boots. Honestly, that is just so Min to me. What is different is what she has got on under that coat, because she's also really seeming to me to be wearing battle style clothing, because under the arms of those coats she's even got braces. And when we look at what Alana is wearing when she's at the Battle of the Two Rivers, I started to think, there is some similarity in style of the leather that Alana's wearing compared to what Egwene is wearing. So I think she's drastically changed her clothing, because she is like armored up after what has gone on with her in film. It's also very dark what she's wearing underneath the battle type stuff. So the visuals that we're getting with her clothing are truly just amazing. Now, there's more to it, okay? Here's the PTSD that she is dealing with. She had this done to her. We must not forget exactly what happened in the show in previous seasons, as well as what we might know about the books, because it's what has happened in the show that is going to be the most important. Another point that I want to make is that Lanfear is very aware of everything that went on with Egwene, because remember, she knew where Egwene was when she met Rand, and Rand said, you take me and you show me where she is, and she said Ashamael has her. So Lanfear knew exactly where she was. She knew exactly what was happening to her. Lanfear understands what that collar is, what it means, and so she is just like rubbing salt into the PTSD wound that Egwene is dealing with as we move into episode 1 of season 3. And you've got to keep that in mind, I think, when you think about, oh my god, where Egwene's arc is going to go. So here in season 3, Egwene is back with her friends, but there's a bit of separation for her from her friends because of what she's going through. You see that short coat? I mean, it is so cute. I want it. And we can see more clearly this leather that she's wearing underneath that gives a real feeling of being ready for battle. And when Swan comes in, Egwene just ain't taking anything from anyone. And I love Nynaeve with her arms folded under her breasts. Just perfect. Do you remember Egwene and Nynaeve talking to Swan in season 1? And Egwene's all smiles and, oh, is she talking to me? That girl's gone. And so Egwene goes into her testing. Yes, LVR and Spotter. Into the arches she goes. And we only see one part of what happens, but just look at the difference in how she looks. Armorland clothing, long braid down the back of her hair. She confronts Rand. She comes back out. She gets the ring, she says, and I'm not doing none of your stuff. I'm out of here. And off she goes. Do I think this is on point for Egwene? I really do. For where Show Egwene is at, what she has been through, and what Lanfear is doing to keep putting the pressure on her. She is desperate, and she is never going to take shit from anyone again. Now going back to Egwene taking on some of Min's book roles, and she is tending to Rand's wound. It hasn't healed properly. It can't be healed by the power. Min was in that position in the books, if you remember. Egwene is still sleeping with Rand, even through her PTSD, which I just found that so heartbreaking. But Rand has got this partner at this point in the show, the way he had Min in the books. Is Egwene going to stay in a relationship with Rand? Absolutely not, in my little opinion. But at this point, even with the horror of the PTSD that she suffers whenever he starts touching around her face and neck, she is still pushing through to have that relationship with him. It's just totally heartbreaking. Rand touches her and she gets the flashbacks of Renna choking her and pulls back away from him, but he really handles it very well, and she stops, she gets herself together, and she decides that she's going to deal with this by pushing through it. Well, you know, they don't have a therapy Arja there. So now the bubble of Lanfear. Let's just think about it. This was not a bubble just for the 3 boys. Egwene had her own horror that was being put on her in here. She's a Damani. She's back in the testing ring with Rand screaming, "Bow to me," and we know that she then did some violence by the way she came out of the ring. She sits up, she's panting, but the room's still got that funny bluish type look to it, and all of a sudden she's not actually properly awake and Rand's choking her, but when she turns and looks, Rand's lying in the bed beside her. Now, we just saw before she went to sleep her fears when Rand touches around her face and neck. Oh my God, how horrible. And now her fears are coming true, that she's being choked again, and not only that, but there's multiple Rands. She gets up, she embraces the source, but she can't tell either of them apart. Oh, it was just incredible because Lanfear is obviously messing badly with her head. And tying that into my little Min theory, of course, we have a horrible book scene where Rand chokes Min under the influence of another Forsaken. I rest my case. What a fantastic opening episode to take her character to the next level. Here's where we came from, here's where we're starting now, and boom, we're going to head off to the waste. What is in store for her next? We have some idea, and yet we have no idea. What do you think? Do you think that I've drawn some interesting parallels and found some nice little Easter eggs in the beginning of the Season 3 journey for Egwene? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Time. Smash to black. but there's lots more coming.